Alright everybody, welcome back. With me today is someone that you've missed the sound of her beautiful voice, but she's back and she's a little under the weather, but that's what happens when you give your all singing a musical. Please welcome back Miss Jania.
Hey guys, I am so happy to be back.
We are happy to have you. Now there's so much to go over because we just got done with Comic-Con and there's been so much. Let me just wrap my head around it. Alright, real quick. Jania.
Yes.
What is your thoughts on Tyler being cast as Superman for Supergirl?
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't really know what to think at this point. Because in my opinion, it could go either way. It could be really good, or it could be really bad. Don't get me wrong, he's no Henry Cavill. But, I don't think that he would necessarily be terrible. I think that I have high hopes for him, especially after seeing the first suit.
We're getting to that.
Yeah. That's later.
We're going to talk about
podcast.
the pictures and the reveals that we've gotten so far.
We'll talk about it. But anyway, I want to see more before I can really judge. I don't have the right to judge at this point. So.
See, I'm with you too. I'm on the fence. I think he'll do a good job. One thing that gets me is I feel like there's supposed to be a bigger age difference between Kara and Superman than what they're portraying based on when she arrives. She's 12, 9, 12, something like that. And he's already Superman, so that makes him he's supposed to be, in the comics he's always 30 when he's Superman. Even if we say 25, we're still looking at a huge, a 10, 13-year gap. Yeah. And just him and her do not look like the age correlation that you'd expect.
No, I believe Tyler is older, though.
Yeah, but he's not 12 years older than her.
Okay.
This is acting, I know, but still.
I mean, I think in some of the promo shots I could see what you're saying as far as the age difference. But I think he is a little bit older, if I remember correctly. Let's find that out.
Now, one thing that I've kind of been wrestling with, and I want to bring this up to you fans out there and see what you think about. I've been thinking about who would be a good villain for Season 2. And we know that they're going to have a 4-night crossover. And I got thinking, who would be an awesome villain? Mongol.
Ooh, Mongol, yeah.
I mean, think about it. He's a big villain, okay? And you're not going to pull Darkseid in because they're using him in the films. They're not going to put Mongol in the films because to some people he's too Darkseid-esque. And then people already compare Thanos and Darkseid, even though the Darkseid was first before Jack Kirby did Thanos. So Mongol could be that kind of a big, iconic villain for the TV universe, and that's what could kind of pull the 4 shows together.
Yeah.
So that's been on my mind. Something that I want to touch on, but I think we're going to pass over with this episode. We'll have to get back is we did see some footage of Justice League.
Yeah. Even
though the Kryptonian wasn't even involved, but they did release that picture of Henry Cavill with the Justice League. So that's pretty exciting.
Very exciting.
We knew he's coming back, and it also kind of makes the death of Superman not as powerful, because you know he's coming right back.
Well, I mean, for most fans, for the hardcore fans that actually know the storyline, know that he's coming right back.
See, years ago when they talked about doing this Justice League and the reboot, my idea was, what would have been cool is if the third Justice League or whatever kind of film started off and it was the first 20 minutes of the film was Superman fighting Doomsday, and he died. And after he died, the credits came up with the title. And then the whole middle section of the film is the Justice League dealing with the death of Superman, incorporating ideas of funeral for a friend and things like that. And then what you find out was, Darkseid manipulated the whole thing to get him dead, and then Darkseid comes in towards the latter part of the middle, but then Superman comes back to life at the end of the film. So you have the death and resurrection all taking place in one film instead of kind of holding off for this other film to start.
Very cool.
Now, we are going to talk a little bit about a character that I'm betting you are not familiar with.
Okay.
Now, do you remember at the end of Supergirl when the pod crashed And they're like, huh. Well, out of Comic-Con, they were talking about that it's supposed to be the pod of Mon-El.
Okay.
Now, Mon-El has a little bit of a tricky backstory, so I pulled up some information here for you if you want to share with the listeners about who Mon-El is.
Okay. Let's take a look here, listeners. Okay, it says, in Superman number 80, February 1953, he was named Hulk Carr and had a logo-less costume, almost identical to Superman's, but with the red and blue colors reversed. He was created by Otto Binder and artist Al Plastino. Hopefully I said that right. In the story, Hulk Carr crash lands on Earth in a rocket ship and is rescued by Superman, who discovers that Hulk Carr suffers from amnesia. Discovering that Hulk Carr has a note from Jor-El mentioning his son, Superman assumes that Hulk Carr must not only be from his own planet Krypton, but he must be a son of Jor-El, and thus also his own older brother. Superman quickly realizes that Hulk Carr is less powerful than he is, and instead of subjecting him to embarrassment over the fact that he may be weaker than his younger brother, opts to use his own powers to cover for Hulk Carr's deficiencies. This plan backfires as Hulk Carr begins to assume a superior attitude to Superman and even begins to make romantic advances on Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane. Oh no, you don't do that kind of stuff. Not to Superman. Finally, Hulk Carr recovers his memory and explains that he is from the planet Thoron, which is in the same star system as Krypton. Years ago, while on a pioneer voyage into space, he landed on Krypton with his damaged rocket ship. There he met Jor-El, who explained that Krypton's destruction was imminent, and repaired Hulk Carr's rocket ship, sending him away with the note, which had a map from Krypton to Earth on it. Krypton exploded shortly afterward, causing Hulk Carr to be put into suspended animation until he drifted to Earth to meet Superman, the grown-up son of Jor-El referred to in the note. Hulk Carr returns to Thoron in his repaired rocket ship, leaving Superman with the experience of briefly having had a brother. The Hulk Carr plot was reused in Superboy 89, June 1961, in a story set during Superman's career as Superboy, one which simply disregarded the history outlined in the original, a practice common at the time. The character's name was changed to Lar Gand. Gand? Could be either. His homeworld was changed to Daxam. D-A-X-A-M. Yes, Daxam.
Works for me.
Daxam. And he was made younger to roughly match Superboy's age. He was an explorer who had landed on Krypton, where Jor-El warned him of the planet's imminent destruction and gave him a map to Earth. He suffered amnesia upon landing on Earth, where he met Superboy. As he gained powers like Superboy, the hero concluded that he was a long-lost brother and named him Mon-El. Mon, because he landed on Earth on a Monday, and El for Superboy's own Kryptonian family name. He adopted a human secret identity, Bob Cobb. Bob? I'm reading this correctly.
Yeah,
it says Bob Cobb, guys.
It was the 60s.
That's a heck of a name.
It was the 60s.
Oh, Lord. To integrate into Superboy's hometown of Smallville. Bob Cobb does not sound, conspicuous at all, honestly. However, the character was then shown to be immune to kryptonite, which is radioactively poisonous to all Kryptonians. Believing that Mon-El has been deceiving him, Superboy tries to trick him with a fake kryptonite meteor made of lead, which turns out to be Mon-El's one weakness. Furthermore, exposure to lead is irreversibly fatal to Daxamites, which Mon-El explains, having regained his memory. Guilt-ridden over inadvertently poisoning him, Superboy saves his life by sending him to the extra-dimensional Phantom Zone, where he would be able to observe things happening in the outside world, But as a phantom would not age, and his lead poisoning would not progress. That is very sad, and a very, very lonely existence for someone who basically didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
In 1985, DC Comics revamped of their superhero universe, Crisis on Infinite Earths, removed Superman's adventures as Superboy from the character's history. Mon-El's character history remained unchanged. However, with his encounter with Superboy said to have taken place in a pocket universe created by the Time Trapper, a mysterious being living at the end of the universe. And that is all, my friends. That is Mon-El.
So we have an idea. And with Mon-El, what I think would be neat, the way that they amalgamize characters, is maybe if it is Mon-El's ship, but they maybe mix a little bit of backstory with Ha-El from the New 52, who was, for lack of a better term, similar. He was a protege of Jor-El's. He came to Earth. He was powerful. And basically, in the story, he used Supergirl to make a machine because he was going to go back in time and stop Krypton from exploding. But in doing so, it would have destroyed Earth.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, they could do some sort of character amalgamation there. That could be cool. But I don't want the big bad every season to be some sort of Kryptonian. Kind of like how in Flash, every season it's like a speedster.
Right.
Like the main overarching is like Reverse Flash, Zoom, and then who knows what Flashpoint it's going to be. But I don't want redundancies where we can keep from them.
Yeah.
It's one thing in a book you read, but it's different in a TV show.
No, I agree completely. It can get boring, and it can get to be too much, you know?
So let's move on to what today's discussion is. Today's major discussion is we are going to look at... Oh, your headphones are working. They're lighting up.
Yes. We are going to look at what, Tyler?
We're going to look at the evolution of the Superman costume on film. Mm-hmm. And we're just doing the live action. We're not looking at the comics and everything. We're just going to look at live action interpretations because they released the first image of Tyler. And I'm not going to say his last name because I'm swearing to the Lord I'll butcher it because I butcher everybody's name if I don't hear it. I've never heard anyone pronounce it. Like I was looking for videos today to see if I could find someone say his last name so that I could copy it, but I couldn't find one.
I feel like it's like Tyler Hecklin or Hoechlin or something like that. So it's funky.
Yeah, so we're just going to call him Tyler, because that's dope because we share a name. But here we go. Are you ready, man?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
The first live action on film character of Superman was portrayed by Kirk Allen. Mm-hmm. And we have the picture up here. All the pictures will be on our Facebook page. And it's pretty much just a basic suit.
Right, well, we have a black and white photo, too.
Because it was always filmed in black and white.
I was about to say, the suit itself, I believe, was black and white, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was a muted suit.
It was a very muted suit. Just like when we get to the next one we'll discuss. But, I mean, it's just basically looks like tights with a cape. Cape that comes to his knees with the S shield, a regular belt, very large underwear.
Now, the thing about this suit is, if I remember correctly, it was created after the strongman suit.
Yes.
Yes.
From the circus kind of performers that's why that Batman and Superman both have that quote-unquote underwear on the outside. Mm-hmm. It was an extra layer of protection from a circus performer. And I don't know why it took almost 75 years to have it removed, but that's another story.
It's a classic. I don't know. That's what we're going to say.
The classic.
It's a classic staple.
It's a very high up, but it's a nice suit. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It looks like the shirt is almost like a sweater, if you look at the way the wrists are.
Now, if I remember correctly, the reason why it's so high up is because that's where the strongmen suits would wear their like weight belts.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And that's probably why he has that belt as well in his costume. So, very neat. You should take a look at some old-fashioned strongman suits. They're very interesting.
Now, if we'll move on, there's Kirk's is a little harder to discuss because there's not a lot of detail we can see.
Yep.
But the next is the George Reeves. And what is your thought? Because the picture I have shows the suit that was used first, which is a very muted suit, because that's when the show is still being filmed in black and white. And then next to it is the colorized suit.
Yeah.
And you can look at it looks like the same kind of material, just one is very vibrant in the color.
Now, okay, if you compare Kirk Allen and George Reeves' suit, the big difference for me is the S, the Superman symbol in the middle. To me, the Superman symbol on George Reeves' suit is more blocky. The outline, what do you want to call that? Mm-hmm. The shield, how's that?
And if you look, he has each, we'll talk about this, live-action Superman has their own personal tweak to the symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're talking about, this is George's tweak on the symbol. Kirk's is a little bit thinner.
Mm-hmm.
To help.
And it looks like Kirk's underwear is a little bit higher up as well.
Yes. And George was in the 50s with the Adventures of Superman TV series. Now, I like the suit. There's nothing wrong with the suit. The boots look good. You can kind of see the boots in the picture at the bottom of him.
Uh-huh.
One thing I like is that you see how the bands work, how they wrap under his feet.
Yeah. The cape is longer.
The cape is longer. It's like mid-calf.
Yeah, which I'm a huge fan of the longer Superman cape.
Yeah, that's
that short Superman cape that's in the first photo with Kirk Allen. That is an extremely short Superman cape.
Now,
that's not the kind you buy at Walmart, guys.
Yeah. Now we'll move on, and look at the material. Look, it looks just like a spandex.
It is, yeah, for sure.
It's a very literal idea of the costume. Now we will move on next to the iconic Mr. Christopher Reeve.
Yes.
Now, one thing, first to note, we'll go here. This is a very basic spandex. I mean, it is tight, just spandex costume.
Yeah. The Superman symbol is larger.
Yes, it's more distinctive, pronounced. It's a larger symbol.
The underwear, smaller.
Yes.
The cape is a little shorter than George Reeves.
It is. It looks like it's right at the top of the knee. Mm-hmm. The boots are bulky.
Yeah, I like the boots, actually.
How they're a little loose on the top.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Another thing to note about it is the way the cape hangs. Let's see here. In George Reeves' suit, it hangs directly off the back. Yeah,
like it's connected in the back.
Yeah.
This is like it's tucked under around his neckline.
Yeah, which I've always liked that look a lot better.
It's got more of a square neckline that opens it up compared to George's where it's more circular.
But it kind of makes him look more defined, to be honest. It makes him look stronger in that area with that square neckline.
It is very much a very literal interpretation of straight from the comic book page to a person.
Of course, you have to love the Superman curl.
Yes.
I mean, if you're a Superman fan, you have to.
He made it amazing. And as we go through this, if you look, Kirk had it. George really didn't have it.
Okay.
Of course, Chris has it, and then we'll continue to point that out as we go forward. Now, the next one up. Now, the thing to take big notice here when we go to the next one is Dean Kane. Now, look, his blue is much darker.
Yes.
It is a much darker blue. And if anyone's asking, we're skipping over Superboys because their costume was the exact same one as Christopher's. They just carried it over for the same show. They didn't tweak it or nothing. Okay,
so Dean Kane's cape seems to hit around, what is that, probably mid-calf again. And it also hangs just like Chris's cape did.
Yeah, with the tucked in at the top. His S is slightly different if you look at the way it curves at the top.
It's almost a little bit more funhousey.
Yeah,
for lack of a better term.
The S at the bottom curves a little bit more. But no, you are absolutely right. It's spandex, straight up spandex.
I'm not a huge fan of the belts, because to me that looks like a child made it out of Play-Doh and stuck it on there. To be honest.
Yeah, and it's once again trying to do a more literal interpretation.
Yeah.
Of just directly changing the suit, and I'm not a fan of the boots.
No.
Because the boots are just this thick, bulky red that just to me.
It's like a different color red, too.
Yeah,
it's a little bit darker than the rest of the suit.
It doesn't, flow.
No. Now, if we note here, Dean Kane does not have the Superman curl.
He does not. Yeah. That's, like I said, we're going to point it out. Now, moving forward, the next one is Brandon Routh.
Mm-hmm.
Now, his suit is unique because his whole story is supposed to be a continuation of Chris's, but it's not, so to speak. But anyways, we'll just look at it. He has the curl.
Yes.
His S is more compressed and smaller.
Yeah.
It's raised above. Like, this is the first time we get more into a costuming design.
The S is, like, sharper.
Yes.
Curvier. It's got more of a structure to it than any of the other Superman symbols. There's the Superman belt he has with the S. That's really neat.
I like the belt.
I like that belt, too.
His underwear is more smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And compressed down.
Now, I think this is where they were trying to get away from the underwear just a tad. Like, let's take a little bit more of it away, and maybe they won't realize the next time we do this that the underwear's gone. I'm just playing. But I like the cape. The cape is at a good length.
I like the cape length. I don't like the cape material.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the cape look.
It looks like a thick leather cape, and it's a darker maroon on the outside than it is red.
And I feel like a thick leather cape is a little bit impractical.
Yes.
It would be harder to, clean up, and it would be easier for someone to get a hold of. I don't know. To me, it's just more impractical.
Now, one thing you can't tell from the photo is the material that makes up his suit is textured of smaller emblems, smaller S's. So if you were able to zoom in, like if we had a better photo, you would see a bunch of tiny shields on his side.
Honestly, I can kind of see it when I zoom in. That's neat. I like that.
Now, I don't like the boots.
Okay, wow.
They're like very thick and rubbery. Like this picture, you don't see it, but like it has the S on the back of the heel. Actually, Solomon's toy he has is a good representation of the boots. They're darker red, like
the rest of the costume.
But I mean,
maroon color.
Yeah, but even then, like when you see it all together, it's a darker red.
Uh-huh.
And it just has this very thick, rubbery feel.
I kind of like the V at the top of the boot, though.
Now, that is good, because if you look at some of the other, Superman artwork we have here, like on the wall, like classic Superman up there, there is that dip in the top.
So they kind of kept it classic.
Yes.
The suit is very classic. The colors, not so much.
They were trying, but it is still a vibrant blue compared to like what Dean Kane's was a darker blue.
I'm just not a fan of the red.
I'm not either. Now if you jump back to Chris's, the boots once again had that V dip in them.
Yeah.
And
I like Chris's red, but I'm not a huge fan of his blue.
Yes.
But I like Brandon Routh's blue.
Yes. And the cape length.
And the cape length, yes.
Now, we move on to the next suit, which is the Man of Steel suit, which was a huge jump. It was a big deal when this was being revealed as the Superman suit.
I love the no underwear look.
So do I. Like, that was... And people freaked out about it and complained. And you know what's funny is this is the first time on film he's been represented without it, but yet Batman adjusted to having a solid black suit on film and kept that look, and people weren't complaining anymore.
The full-length cape is amazing.
I have a love-hate with the full length. I love the look. I love how flowing this looks, and it's, all the way down. I love the boots, and I like the idea that it's like a second skin suit. Like, it's like an alien, like it's very streamlined. I like the cuffs around the wrists.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge fan of the other design, like on the sides.
Really? I like that detail. I feel like it pulls the suit together.
I like the S symbol. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit less of just being an S.
Mm-hmm.
It has more of that swirl.
You know what's really neat about the S symbol? It echoes the bat symbol. Or should I say the bat symbol echoes the S, the Superman symbol. Okay? I'm talking about Ben Affleck Batman here. Mm-hmm. The chunkier bat symbol, the chunkier Superman symbol. It makes sense to me. It looks good. I like it.
Large and pronounced.
Yeah.
But once again, he doesn't have the curl.
Yep. And to be honest here, Tyler, this is the first large and pronounced guy that's played Superman.
Yeah, it is funny because Brandon's physical look was much to fit Chris's. Dean was very fit, but
lean.
But but there was a lean fit to him.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, it's one of those, Henry is very in shape for this. Also, the way they designed the costume helps add any kind of muscular tonality if needed. I don't know how much of it, if any, was extra padding.
Did you see him without his shirt in the movie?
Yes, but also think about what part was that film compared to some of the other shots.
I'm just saying.
But
is ripped.
The cape is tucked in at the top.
Yes, I love that. And look at the boots. Again, it has that classic V, you know?
Yes.
In the top of the boot. I love that. I love that the boot kind of forms. It forms into the leg. It almost looks like it's just an extension of the suit.
But at the same time, it does look like a boot at the same time.
It's neat.
Same material. Now, continuing with our Henry, we'll look at the BVS Justice League suit. Now, first of all, I like this suit. I'll flash it. This is my favorite Superman suit. It's a brighter blue. It's a more pronounced just shine. The cape is still long. The symbol is smooth. But the one thing I don't like is I actually prefer the Man of Steel wrist guards compared to the way they did them in this one.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I could say about Henry's suit that I think should be changed, I think that the gold behind the S should be more pronounced.
Okay. I
feel like that's a little too muted because it kind of makes it not stand out. And that's the whole point. You know, the S is supposed to stand out.
I got you. This is, now in this one, it is a brighter blue compared to what the Man of Steel was.
Yeah. Henry looks a little bit bigger in this picture, I'm not going to lie.
And that's probably because he just keeps working, because he's got to film the movies back to back, so he just keeps it.
He is Superman.
The way they did the gold, like, for the idea of the belt, just to break up that visual.
Yeah, I like that too.
But keeping with more of the streamlined look. The boots, if you notice, it's a hard in this picture, but it has a double dip. Mm-hmm. Just like the classic Superman does.
Yep.
And like I said, to me, this is my favorite costume. I prefer the cuffs of the Man of Steel around the wrists. If you could put those on this BVS suit.
I love the way the cape hangs.
I do too.
I love that tucked under kind of look right there on the collarbone. I love that.
I've never been a big fan, I will say this, of having the gold S on the back of the cape. No. That's how it is on Chris's costume. It wasn't on Brandon's, and I think it was on Dean's as well. But I like it. Now, moving on from Henry, we're going to look at the first revealed picture of Tyler's costume, and it has him standing next to Melissa. And at first look in this promo shot, I was like, okay.
Okay. So, here's the good thing.
No, wait, hold on that thought real quick.
Okay.
One note is, I made a slide here if you look. It shows the first costume release of Melissa. It shows the first Flash Grant Gustin costume and the first Tyler. And to be honestly, I don't think any of these pictures do justice to their suits.
I would agree.
Considering the photos that come after it, where we really get to look at it, I think though just the first release photos they don't do a good job. Mm-hmm. All right. So now, what were you thinking with the suit?
Okay. Well, I'll do some sandwiching here. So we'll start with the good. The good, I really like the classic S. It's very classic Superman symbol right there.
I like the S. I really like.
The negative, I am not a fan of the boots. To me, the boots are way too chunky.
Yes. Okay.
They make him look bottom heavy. And once again, I feel like this shot sucks. Okay.
Now with this part, we can bounce around to the other photos that we have that were revealed with the second look of him actually on set. So we don't have to go in any kind of order. They're now just all reference photos. There's a shot where he has a little bit of a curl. But even then, the costume, the material I like, it has kind of the lines through it, like Melissa's does. And I really like that they didn't give him the same kind of S as hers. You know how we talked about, like, the way they're doing her Supergirl S makes it just Supergirl. Like, it gives it its own distinction so that you can say that's Supergirl and not Superman 2. And his S is his own S. It has more of that pronounced gold.
Yeah.
One thing I'll tell you right off the bat, we're talking about the boots. The boots look very New 52 influenced. The squareness and heaviness of them, which in drawings is one thing, but then made practical, I don't like it. That's one thing I will say right off the bat. These are probably my least favorite boots. They look like biker boots painted, spray painted red.
Not the good kind.
Cape length, I like. Material looks a little thick, but there's always that difference of standing still shots and then actual action shots with his cape length and with his cape. But the length I like. It looks more stiff and leathery than flowy.
Mm-hmm. Where the cape is coming off of the shoulders, it's different. The placement is different. It's more so like down on his chest.
If you go back, I have an image that I pulled where it looks like the way the cape buckles, like it looks like it's actually buckled onto him. It looks like it pulls from like the Injustice cape, where it's connected to the symbol, and the latter John Romita Jr. New 52 Superman suit, where it looks like it's more up over his shoulders and connected.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of the cape material. I like the neckline of the suit.
I like the neckline of the suit. Once again, they didn't use the red underwear. I don't like the belt. Like, it's the red. It's just a solid red with a little bit of gold around it. But it looks more like the New 52 belt. But I don't know. I just don't like it.
The belt and the boots look too chunky.
Yeah, the belt's very chunky. Very just... I don't know, like, if you look at the way that Kara's belt is done, it's like... It looks more like the waist of her skirt.
Yeah.
And it flows. His just looks like it's this piece of plastic wrapped around him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but once we get, like we said, we get on the set photos of him, he looks better. Like, he looks good. And it gives me more hope for him as Superman. I still think he's kind of young, but these set photos really put more, especially the last photo, where it's just like him sitting there. They look so much better than that promo photo.
Agreed.
And that gives me a lot more hope for him as Superman. And one thing that Phil and I had talked about was it seems like Superman does a lot better on TV, story-wise, and Batman does better in films.
Okay.
Think about it, like, you've had multiple Superman TV series. You've only had Batman 66. You know,
True.
And Batman's had more success as a film franchise than Superman has. We have had, 4, 5, 6, 7 Superman films. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Batman films. 9 Batman films. So.
Gotcha.
But now, if you had to pick one costume to be your favorite, which one would you choose as your favorite Superman suit? Without any alterations, you can't change it.
I would have to say the Man of Steel suit.
You're going to go with Man of Steel?
Man of Steel.
I'm going to go with BVS.
Mm-hmm. I like the look without the underwear, to be honest.
I do
to be
too.
frank.
Now, Janine, I'm sorry, let me get back here. You said, what was your comment you had about that first initial promo shot?
Okay, so if you're taking a look at the shot of Tyler, okay, I really think that the reason why that promo shot looks so bad is because of the photographer. The angle of the shot, someone has shot that picture from the bottom up, okay?
Uh-huh.
So instead of standing in front of someone and shooting them straight on, they're lower, the photographer is lower on the ground and shooting up at an angle towards the subject, okay? Which is going to make your subject look bottom heavy, okay? Mm-hmm. And then the top of him just looks thinner because of the way that angle is done. Now here's another thing. If you take a look at the picture, Tyler is standing at an angle, okay?
This, you mean by the side turn?
The side turn, yes. He's standing at this, little angle that he does. And basically, what that does is it makes you look slimmer, okay? This is picture taking 101 here.
Something this photographer must have skipped over.
Exactly. But yeah, if you notice, he's got that slight angle to him, and when you do that, you're going to look slimmer, you're going to look smaller. That's why a lot of stars do it when they're on the red carpet and they're getting their picture taken. They take pictures from the side or at an angle because it makes them look smaller. Okay? okay? If I'm taking a picture of a guy who's supposed to be Superman, I'm going to want to make him look bigger, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And Tyler, let's face it, we have Henry Cavill as our Superman icon right now, right?
Yes.
So that's the Superman that everyone sees on the big screen. He's huge. Dude is ripped, right?
This is the second time, just pointing out, we've had a Superman on TV and on film at the same time.
Yeah. So our TV Superman, Tyler put out this meme the other day, guys, that was actually really funny. It was a picture of Henry Cavill and a picture of Tyler, and they were side by side, not my Tyler, but, Tyler Hecklin, Hoagland, whatever. They were side by side, okay, and it said, oh crap, what did it say? It said
Superman and Superboy?
Boy? Yeah. But he looks so much smaller. So this promo shot, the way that it's shot, the way that he's standing, it makes him look that much smaller. If we skip ahead in these shots that we have, the very last shot that we have of Tyler, and it's straight on, okay? You see his chiseled jaw, okay? And you see him he's just sitting there. This dude's just sitting there. And he looks bigger in this shot. And he looks more like what you would want to see as Superman in this shot than he did in the promo shot. Also, in the promo shot, it looks like the dude has a 5 o'clock shadow. What is up with that?
You know what this reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of the way they did Ezra Miller's Flash in BVS compared to what we saw in Justice League.
Okay.
It looks like they just pulled him off the street, like, hey, come over here and do this costume test. You know what? That's a cool test. We're just gonna take. It's good. Just go.
Yeah.
It's like they just did it haphazardly, really quick.
Now, if you look at it, there's a lot of editing that was done in this picture, and you could totally see a lot of buffering, or not buffering, but just making everything shiny and pretty and perfect. But to me, this is not flattering for Tyler. I would be embarrassed if I was Tyler of this picture. Not because of myself, but because of whoever edited this thing, whoever shot it.
Yes. I mean, it's your big reveal of Superman, and that's the picture.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the picture that we looked at in here of Brandon was the first promo shot of him in costume.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the first promo shot was of Henry in costume?
Yes. Promo shot or shot? Because there were a lot of, background shots.
The first promo, release shot they put of him in costume was him standing in front of a bank vault. And it was really different because it was a darker photo. He was bent over, and you saw the top of the chest. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. But I remember my buddy Devin sent it to me. They had released it online. And it was just really different.
Now, I understand that TV budgets are drastically different from movie budgets, okay?
She knows. We've been rewatching all of Smallville.
Yes. Smallville, though, is great. I'm not even gonna jump on that, guys. But Smallville is fantastic.
There it is.
And Tyler, why did we leave out his quote-unquote suit?
We left out his quote-unquote suit because it's not technically a Superman costume. It's the jacket, and it'd be very hard to talk about the jacket or the black trench coat look. And technically, when he did put on a Superman suit, it was the Superman Returns suit. And also, like we talked about, they never gave him his own specific S insignia. Nothing that we could be like, that's a Smallville S. I can look at it, that's the Man of Steel S. That's the Superman Returns S. That's Christopher Reeve S. That's the Dean Kane S. That's the George Reeves. I can pull all that up, and I can tell you who it is. But you can't do that with Smallville.
So let's pop back to this promo pic talk here, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the very first promo shot of Superman, Man of Steel here, okay? And automatically, he looks strong. He looks intimidating. He looks like someone who is about to jack someone else up, okay?
He's in that power stance. He's got the bank vault behind him.
Yeah, he's strong looking. That stance that he has is strong. But this picture, okay, I'm gonna shut up after this, I promise. But this picture of Tyler looks like he should be an underwear model.
Is that the picture for the coming soon from Ruby's Superman Halloween costume with your model? Or like he's like the Hot Topic model for to order your costume online from?
It's such a shame because the guy he's an attractive guy, right? You know,
yeah, sure.
He looks bigger in the other pictures than he does in this stupid promo shot. I am so disappointed in this shot.
I was so disappointed by that shot, and then the next day when they released the other behind the scenes set, I was more like, okay. Seeing the costume, it basically comes down to I don't like the boots and I don't like the belt. And I understand doing something different for the way the cape is. Okay, I'll go with it.
Yeah.
But mainly the boots and the belt.
And honestly, I love Melissa's suit in this picture. I really do. It looks great. And I love her boots. I know we're not talking about Supergirl suits, but
we did that last year.
Yeah. But I'm not a fan of the way that she's shot either in this program.
No, it just proves to you once again, like you said about a poor photographer and choices.
Yeah.
And whoever selected that photo didn't know what they were doing.
I was about to say, okay, the photographer might not have had anything to do with the selection process of this picture, okay?
Too bad it wasn't shot by Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah. But my whole point being, whoever decided this was the picture for the promo, they were very, very wrong. It's a terrible picture.
That's Superman in his live-action suits. I look forward to seeing Tyler's portrayal of the character, and they're actually showed he actually is going to do the shirt rip.
That's cool.
Which I think's funny, like now that I think more about it, because we've seen Kara do it. Look at his suit and think he has that cape and everything tucked under his regular clothes, like his boots.
I'd like to think that the cape is somewhere else, that it's separate. Mainly because if it does have that buckling feature.
Yeah, like, it's just kind of, in the New 52 in the comics, the cape was like biological Kryptonian armor, and it came from the symbol, and the symbol he wore on his chest like a patch, and the suit came from it. Mm-hmm. So he could wear anything and the suit would appear. And this is one thing that Zack Snyder's not had to deal with, the fact that in Man of Steel, he's Clark, then he's Superman for a little bit, and he's back to Clark. He never changes. And then in BVS, we never see him have to go from Clark to changing to Superman.
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, we're just going to cut around that and not have to deal with it. But what are your thoughts, faithful listeners? What's your favorite suit? Do you like the George Reeves the best? Maybe. Do you like Tyler's suit? What do you think? It's definitely worth debating over, discussing. So once again, we want to thank Janina for coming back. We've missed the sound of her sweet voice here on the Krypton Report. Thank you, Janina.
You're welcome. It's good to be back.
And remember, look up in the sky.